Welcome to today's Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're joining us, because today we are diving into a massive, sweeping cosmic myth. But what makes this particular story so fascinating is how it bridges this infinite, mind-bending scale of the universe with the everyday virtues we all deal with. You know, things like family drama, unyielding loyalty, and the power of silent service. We're going to explore a narrative that's etched into ancient texts and modern temples alike. It's going to be a great one.
Okay, let's dive into this. What exactly holds the weight of the world? Seriously, just take a second and imagine an entity that never sleeps, never gets tired, and literally breathes the very cosmic wind that moves the universe. An entity that balances the entire Earth itself, existing long before time even started and destined to remain long after time ends. Pretty wild, right? Well, this isn't just a myth about some creature. It is a profound lesson on the very foundations of reality itself.
Chapter 1. The First Immortal Serpent. The very first being to manifest in the infinite darkness. To really set the stage, we've got to go back. Like way, way back. We are talking about a time before the earth, the sky, the sun, or even the moon existed. There was absolutely nothing but infinite darkness, and this endless ocean of water. And in that absolute void, the very first thing to manifest was Sheshnag. If you look at his primary name here, Adishesh, it perfectly captures his mind-bending scale. Adi translates to the beginning, the absolute origin of everything, and Shesha, that means that which remains. He is quite literally the alpha and the omega of this cosmic lore. He was there before the creator god Brahma even showed up, and he is the one who sticks around when everything else dissolves.
But to really understand who he is, we have to look at his family tree. According to ancient texts like the Vishnu Purana and Mahabharata, Sheshnag was born to the great sage Kashyap, and his wife, Kadru, who, get this, gave birth to 1,000 snakes. Sheshnag was the absolute eldest, but he was drastically different from his siblings. While his brother Vasuki was destined for devotion and kingship, and Takshak became this symbol of fiery anger and power, Sheshnag was quiet. He was calm, deeply serious, and honestly, utterly uninterested in thrones or demanding respect. Above all else, he was a seeker of the ultimate truth.
Chapter 2. Choosing Absolute Truth Over Family.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it highlights a classic dilemma. Being a seeker of truth sounds amazing, right? Until that truth puts you in direct conflict with the people you love most. Sheshnag soon found himself facing a literally impossible situation involving his own mother and, of all things, a petty bet over the tail of a divine horse. So his mother, Kadru, made a bet with her sister about the color of this horse's tail. Kadru was going to lose, which meant she would become a slave. To cheat her way out of it, she ordered her snake children to wrap themselves around the horse's tail to make it look black. Driven by fear, his brothers agreed to the deceit. But Sheshnag? He chose absolute truth, even knowing for sure it meant exile.
Can you imagine that moment? Standing right in front of your own mother and saying, "Mother, this is untruth, it is a sin. I will not do this." He completely refused to participate in the lie. In her fury, his mother cursed all the snakes who hesitated, declaring they'd one day burn in a great fire. Watching his family succumb to fear, greed, and deceit just broke Sheshnag's heart. Realizing he simply couldn't live in a world where lies won over truth, he quietly walked away into the night, abandoning his kingdom and his family entirely.
Chapter 3. The Ultimate Cosmic Penance in the Freezing Himalayas. Leaving the comforts of his royal inheritance completely behind, Sheshnag traveled to the most unforgiving environment imaginable, the harsh, freezing isolation of the Himalayas. And the sheer scale of his meditation? It's staggering. He completely abandoned food and water. As years turned into decades, he sat so perfectly still that dust settled all over him, and thick vines wrapped around his massive body. As entire eras passed by, with storms raging, snow falling and melting, and mountains shifting, birds actually built nests right on top of him, mistaking him for a literal mountain. His mind was entirely, unbrokenly focused on the creator, Brahma.
Finally, Brahma appeared, shaking the very heavens themselves, and offered Sheshnag a boon. Now, normally, most deities or demons in these ancient texts ask for invincibility, supreme power, or, eternal youth. But not Sheshnag. He simply opened his eyes and said, "I only want the opportunity to serve creation. Give me a burden no one else can bear." It's just a breathtaking moment of pure, selfless humility.
Chapter 4. Becoming the Eternal Foundation for Lord Vishnu.
Because of that incredible selflessness, Brahma smiled at his request. He ended up granting Sheshnag the most crucial, foundational job in the entire universe. Sheshnag was to become the eternal foundation, the bridge between the realms and the ultimate support system for existence itself. First, he descended into Patal, the deepest underworld, to literally balance the entire earth on his infinite hoods. Ancient texts even say that when the earth trembles with an earthquake, it's really just Sheshnag slightly shifting his weight. Second, during the epic churning of the ocean, when the massive Mount Mandara began to sink, Sheshnag secretly supported it from the ocean floor. And third, when the demon Hiranyaksha dragged the earth into the cosmic waters, and Vishnu's Varaha avatar fought a centuries-long battle to save it, it was Sheshnag who silently maintained the balance of the cosmos, so the whole shebang didn't just collapse into chaos.
And this brings us to an absolutely incredible concept, prolaya. Prolaya is the ultimate cosmic dissolution. It's the end of a universal cycle where planets, stars, and civilizations all dissolve back into water. But in that infinite dark void, the Kshirasagara, or ocean of milk, only two entities survive: Lord Vishnu, resting peacefully, and Sheshnag, whose massive, coiled body serves as Vishnu's eternal bed. He truly is the foundation that survives the end of absolutely everything.
Chapter 5. Avatars Across the Ages.
So, Sheshnag's story isn't just restricted to the deep cosmic realms and the end of time. His dedication to service was so profound that it came down directly to Earth, right alongside humanity. Whenever Vishnu took an avatar to restore balance on Earth, Sheshnag followed. Just look at this timeline. In the Treta Yuga, he was born as Lakshmana, the fiercely loyal younger brother of Lord Rama, serving him tirelessly through a grueling 14-year forest exile. Then, in the Dwapara Yuga, he incarnated as Balarama, the immensely powerful older brother of Lord Krishna. And perhaps most fascinatingly of all, in ancient India, he took the form of sage Patanjali. The lore says he wanted to witness Lord Shiva's magnificent cosmic dance, and in return for that blessing, he gifted humanity the Yoga Sutras, teaching us how to balance our own minds and bodies exactly like he balances the earth.
Chapter 6. The Profound Meaning of True Selfless Service and Devotion.
So what does this massive, multi-epoch epic actually mean for us? Because right beneath the thousand-headed serpents and cosmic oceans, there is a very grounded, profound philosophical lesson here about the nature of true service. To really illustrate this, there's this brilliant story about an arrogant ancient king who laughed at the myth of Sheshnag, demanding proof that a serpent could hold the world. Well, that night, the king had a terrifying dream where he found himself down in the dark underworld, staring up at the endless, awe-inspiring mass of Sheshnag holding the entire planet. Sheshnag delivered a deeply humbling message, which you can see right here. My duty is not display, but service. He reminded that arrogant king that the very ground he so proudly stood on was supported by the silent, uncredited sacrifice of someone else.
And this isn't just some ancient history. It is a living tradition perfectly preserved today at the Padmanabhava Swami Temple. Located in Tiruvananthapuram, which literally translates to the city of Lord Ananta, this stunning architectural marvel houses the breathtaking image of Lord Vishnu resting peacefully upon Ananta Shesha. Every single year, millions of people visit, bowing not just to the gods, but to the very concept of unwavering silent devotion that this temple represents. And this brilliantly illustrates our final takeaway, bringing this whole cosmic epic right back to you. Who are the invisible forces holding up your world? Just like Sheshnag silently balancing the earth without ever demanding a round of applause, our own lives are constantly supported by people who do the heavy lifting in the background. Who are the people in your life offering that silent, steady support? It's a deeply humbling thought to leave you with today. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and hey, keep looking for those invisible foundations in your own world.